This falls is even bigger, steeper, and maybe even more spectacular than the last one. Hold on, stay there. Can you get out of the boat?
Yeah. Thanks.
There's an eagle. And behind that big sand dune is Lake Superior. Absolutely bluebird day. We got dropped off this morning by our shuttle driver from Naturally Superior Adventures. Got as close to our put-in lake as we could. We figured we were 2 to 3 kilometers away. The road we were walking petered out. Went from a reasonable road you could get a vehicle down to a 2-track trail to almost a game trail, and now we're pretty much bushwhacking. We're trying to get to our put-in lake before dark tonight. What'd you find?
On the road. This is in a swamp.
Really? Hold that up, let's see.
Slow. Yeah, it is slow. So I didn't actually find any sign of proper road, but it is open enough to like get canoes through.
Okay.
Like it's like this a lot of the way. Yeah. Step 1.
This isn't the right lake. It's not the target lake we're getting to, but it's enough to float our boats. And this lake connects to the others we're trying to get to, so it was the closest water body that we could hike in. But that was a long, rough bushwhack.
I'm just so glad we're done. We're here. Oh wait.
Round 2.
Yeah, we haven't even done the hardest part.
Now I'm wishing our driver had taken us a little further. At least now we have some idea of where we're headed. I'm gonna guess right now this is gonna take us 3 hours, maybe longer. Stop for another break, and we're at the sign there, the slow sign that Ben found. So I think we're about, well, probably close to halfway, eh?
I think distance wise, yeah, but I think we're probably 1/8 of the way.
Yeah, in terms of difficulty.
Yeah.
We're just getting to what's going to probably be the hardest part of the whole day.
Yeah.
So take a little rest. Nice little swamp to cross. Got about a foot of water just trudged through, but We're making very good time. We know where we're headed this time. We know what the obstacles are to expect, so we're doing really well. I can't even hold my arm. We have been portaging since 10 o'clock this morning. We're finally at the first lake. Oh man, that was a brutal bushwhack portage. Holy mackerel. It's now almost 5. One portage the whole day. That's a first. Oh, finally. Well, the boat still floats, so that's good. Get out in the lake, find some water to drink. Oh man. Again, this just keeps getting worse. I can see the creek in it.
Dead end there?
Well, no, it trickles through, but it just keeps, it's like the portage, it just keeps getting smaller and worse and worse.
We're about halfway down the creek.
Yeah?
Yeah. To Isabella.
Alright. Change of plans again. We popped over those 2 little beaver dams, and the creek just kind of keeps getting smaller and smaller, and our map shows exactly that. The creek gets smaller and smaller, choked out by, you know, alders and everything you see behind me over here. So it's going to end up being a lot like what we came through today, but with perhaps enough water to float the boat in, but probably not paddle through. At least from what we can see from where we took out. Ben jumped out there and took a little look, and I took a look from the boat. It's not going to hurt my ego at all to back up here and call it a day. That was a good long day on the dragging and portaging. That's really all it was. So we're going to go back up over these beaver dams and back to a little flat spot we saw back up the river.
That was quick.
Yeah.
With every second that goes by, I'm like so glad we stopped. Could you imagine just right now being on
Being like knee deep on that creek, slugging through it.
yeah, soaking wet.
There's like so much whitewater gear. Like that's mostly what this pack is. It's just extra whitewater gear. Cold weather whitewater gear. And Crocs.
When
Probably can't hear anything I'm saying over the frog. I got the camera going, I'm just like, it's just gonna be frog noises. Yeah. Like, what's the point?
It looks like I've seasoned the potatoes. It's got a bunch of pepper on it, but it's just straight dirt. There was only enough room for one in the pan, so I'm doing one baked.
So someone's gonna get their potatoes in 10 minutes and someone's gonna get theirs in 2 hours.
Yeah.
It's like a switch, man. Flicks a switch in the frogs.
Yeah.
It's caught up with me now. Like the day.
Yeah.
And it's the feeling I could just have like a bar or two and crawl into bed. Slam a liter of water, eat a bar, go to bed.
Yep. Trust me, my hands are clean.
Ben brought all the stuff for dinner tonight. And after today, we're both pretty white, but feel obligated to cook it. So we've got roasted potatoes, fried potato, whatever you want to call them, bacon, green onion, and now we've got the steaks on. I think we have to put some fire underneath that.
Yeah.
Got steak, ended up cooking in the pan because it wasn't working out so well with most of our support for the grill on fire. Turned out pretty good.
Nice.
Turned out great.
It's like a medium.
Yep. Delicious.
So same thing just happened that happened on the Spanish River. We're sitting here eating dinner. And there's a big splash, so I tied a lure on, and it's too bad we've already eaten because oh my goodness. I wouldn't I've never thought there's even any fish in this little beaver pond.
Just laid in bed this morning till the sun cleared the trees. Nice to not have to get up and race out of here. Needed a good sleep last night. That's what I got. Feeling very happy to be here. Beautiful frosty morning. Got my usual pot of coffee, and in here we have just some freeze-dried berries that I did at home. I think these are from last year. I know they're from last year. And mixed with some oatmeal. I think there's some vanilla protein in there too. Makes a decent breakfast. Raspberries, strawberries, blueberries, peaches. Tastes like summer. Slowly getting camp put away. Neither of us is in much of a hurry today. Ben's gone off to explore the woods a little. See a man about a horse or something, he said? I don't know. Probably could have got away with one pack on this trip. This one here has food and most of my white water gear in it. A little fanny pack that has ropes and pulleys. In case we do get a boat pinned, we can hopefully extract it. And then I also throw some snacks and stuff in there, so I don't have to open the big pack. And then one with all my camping gear.
The facilities here are just beautiful.
Too bad there's so few of these morning. The sun and light wind, no bugs. Starts to get deep about right there.
Deep?
It's getting a little deeper, but I really don't want to go up over my waist. So I'm gonna jump back in.
There we go.
All right, get back in the boat. Make our way through this. It gets a little deeper here. I feel like if I took a couple more steps, I would have been up over my waist. So hopefully we can get around these corners. Too much trouble. Bulldoze into these trees here. Beaver pond here again. Opened up a little bit. Doesn't go very far. Doesn't matter, like a little outflow. Glad we didn't do this last night. I was feeling pretty worn out. Almost. There we go. Yeah. I was pretty worn last night. Looks like we go back into some thick stuff again. Oh, good to tackle this rested body.
is the least amount of water I've ever floated this boat through.
Can't believe we haven't caught a fish already.
I know, right? Place sucks.
What stupid idea was this anyway? Try a few casts here. Just at this beaver dam. This is a lake we thought we might try and get to last night, but pretty happy with where we stayed. Looks like we got a beaver dam here and another one just up ahead. Just double checking my map here. I've downloaded the topo maps off of Avenza, but you can see, if you're able to see that, we've just entered Upper Jimmy Kash Lake, which is connected by another creek to actual Jimmy Kash Lake, and then the Jimmy Kash River flows out of that. So this is our target lake. Try not to lose my fishing rod. Nice. The last couple hours we've been paddling all around the shoreline on Jimmy Kash Lake. Just looking for somewhere to camp. Shoreline has grown cedars right down to the waterline. So we're gonna go to the mouth of the river and take a look there. Well, this is what we paddled all this way and fought all this way to get to. Looks a lot like everything else we've seen. But this is the channel into the Jimmy Kash River. Still scouting for a campsite. Hooked into my second fish. Didn't even get the camera on for the first one, but just a little pike. And he's gone. Yeah. Figure out what I'm gonna have. If you didn't watch the last video, Chef Tyler Scott and I did a big cooking session. Cooked a bunch of meals at my parents' house and then ran them all through the freeze dryer. So this was one of them. This is a jambalaya. So it's got andouille sausage, chicken, shrimp, green peppers, onions, jalapeno peppers, and a whole bunch of spices, chili powder, hot sauce. And I packed in there. Hopefully there's enough room for some water in there.
It's got a few things in it. Have you ever tried like just dehydrated chicken?
Dehydrated, yeah.
Does it rehydrate very well?
Not usually, no. Not usually. It's usually pretty tough. Like, it'll come back, but
Yeah.
it's kind of hard usually. I found anyway. When I have done it, what I found works better in the dehydrator is ground chicken.
Yeah.
Rather than like cooking it and shredding it or whatever yourself.
Yeah.
And it's usually cheaper too.
Get it in a can?
No, just like
Like a pack?
yeah, you can buy ground chicken. First taste of the jambalaya. It's so good.
I think you just convinced me to buy a freeze dryer.
Yeah, it's a big investment, man, but it makes such a world of difference. I'd try a scoop of that.
Oh my god.
It's fresh food.
I just had a little scoop of mine. It's terrible.
Yeah, so go check out Tyler Scott Camp Kitchen on YouTube or Instagram. Thanks a lot for your help, Ty. This turned out amazing.
Oh, it's fantastic.
It's so good. I didn't think I could finish that whole bowl. And now I wish I had another one. That was so good. Ben's also got curry that he made at home. Chicken, was it chicken curry?
Yeah, chicken rice.
So it's a spicy night around here. Could be interesting. Better keep the toilet paper in the fridge. Slice me open.
This is the biggest one of the night.
Yeah?
There you go.
much colder this morning. Woke up to a brisk north wind blowing. Neither of us really felt like getting out of bed. So, getting up, getting some water on, got a fire going. And breakfast is on the way. Got most of camp tore down. Just stashing away some snacks for the day in here. I keep this little fanny pack on my seat, attached to my seat. Once we start running rapids, I'll probably carry this around my waist, but for now, I'm gonna carry my lunch. Windy, cold morning out here. All bundled up in our dry suits, about to hit the river. I think we're all rigged up, looking forward to some fast water. Oh, it's so shallow.
I need a minute to change my GoPro battery. It's not even turning on.
Both having GoPro trouble already. I think this is the one that kept shutting off on me on my last trip. And I thought I had it figured out. I thought it was just a battery problem. I thought I had one faulty battery, but I don't know. Runs for about 10 seconds and then dies. Now it seems to be working okay. How often do you have the tailwind and the current with you? Enjoy it while we can. So we've got this big tree in the river. It's definitely a problem. We have to get up past that, but we can slide over on the other side pretty easily. And then this goes around the corner. I can't quite see what's around the corner, so I wanted to take a walk down, take a look, and make sure that there isn't a big surprise. Well, that's the kind of surprise I'm talking about. That tree laying across the river. Had we just jumped in and run down here, there's nowhere to get out before you swing around the corner into that tree. You're definitely going to get pinned up against it. It's worthwhile to jump out of the boat and take a look. All right, you ready for this?
Yeah, I am. We'll just keep going.
Whoa! Came around that corner a little fast. That's a tight turn. Whoa! Ah! A little rusty on that one. Did you ride right up that rock?
Yeah, did you?
Yeah, exact same thing. Got lots of little swifts here. Sounds like it. That's a bad spot to be in. Yeah, we're good. The sun's trying to peek out. We're on a few rapids. Kind of messed up the line on the last one there, but oh well, got sideways on a little bit of a rock. Last place I wanted to be. Little bushwhack. Sun's coming out. It's getting really warm now in this suit. Oh my goodness. Drag your boat 100 meters in a dry suit. You'll get warm. Good side view down. Oh shallow through this stretch. We're creaking. Probably have the dome on. River really narrows right here between some very rocky shoreline. I think this one we'll have to jump out and take a look at. It's a couple really narrow channels and then a fairly large drop at the very end of it through a pretty narrow little canyon. It looks really cool, but I think it's a little too sketchy to try and run, especially way out here on this river. But this is just a spectacular spot. This whole canyon, a couple drops through it, and then you've got a huge ice wall on one side, like a frozen waterfall that's still, it's got to be 60 feet or at least tall. Beautiful. I'm gonna run the first little bit of it and I think we'll get out and line it. Ben's gonna be watching from the bottom, just make sure everything goes okay, and to lend a hand if I need it. Haven't seen a black fly or a mosquito all day long. It's just been beautiful since about mid-morning. We're in the early afternoon now. little sideways again. Oh, we've just been running down shallow, rocky swifts for a while now. Making up a little time for how slow it was this morning with all those beaver dams and down trees and all that. There's lots of little swifts, kind of inconsequential little things like this. But enough to keep the river moving and keep my mind occupied. Log there.
I see that.
This is what they were talking about. Oh, you guys need creek boats.
Yeah, yeah.
Waterfall. So weird, we've tried in these deep pools at the bottom of the bigger drops, trying for fish and not getting anything down here. Stopped a few times to cast, chucking spoons and what you'd think. I don't know, I would expect there to be trout in here, brook trout, maybe walleye, pike for sure. We know there's pike, but we're not seeing anything in the river. Well, we found a really nice open bare rock beside a little slot of a waterfall. Both had a little rest, and I think Ben went for even a swim. Cleaned himself up a little. I took a nap, but now it's dinner time. Smoking hot all afternoon since we got here. The sun's blazing, but this wind is really starting to cool things down, so a hot meal tastes good. I've got chicken with orzo. There's sun-dried tomatoes. I get cream sauce. Yeah. It's amazing. I freeze-dried this meal over a year ago. Orzo kind of looks like rice, but some kind of grain, I think. Tastes pretty darn good out here, though.
I've just got some beef rehydrating here, some ground beef, and then I'm gonna toss in some chili. It's just classic chili without the beef. And then I'm gonna throw some cheese and some green onions in there. And then I'm gonna fry up some of these little corn tortillas and make tacos out of it. I think it's gonna be pretty good.
A little dessert. I have one of these Aloha bars that I found in the US. Really simple, healthy ingredients. They're a little harder to find in Canada, but I've become a big fan of these. This one's kind of like a lemon square. I'm gonna enjoy that. Some tea, and the fire as the sun starts to go down a little bit. So this island we camped on last night has the main flow going down in front of our camp, and then there's a smaller flow down behind it. So there's a lot of logs and whatnot out in front, just downstream of camp. So we're going to try and line and wade down this smaller flow, but we've got to go down this really steep drop here to get into it. So once we get all packed up, that's where we're going to start the day. Probably waist deep in the river. And it's pretty chilly out this morning. That wasn't so bad, was it? Jump out here. Oh, it's fun. It's like we got lots more ahead. Very good. Put that camera away. I rode right over the same giant rock you did.
Did you?
Yeah. You should see the, like, half your canoe was out of the water. You were just like on top of that rock and then tipped over. This one looks a little gnarly. Thread the needle on this one, I'll say that. Very short, but the consequences are also quite high. You going?
Yeah, you want me to go first?
I don't care. Give her if you're ready. Hold on, stay there. Don't let that gunnel come upstream. Stay there. Can you get out of the boat?
Yeah. Can you make sure it's deep that way?
Yeah, I got it.
How about that?
Yeah.
Thanks. I think I'll line this one.
Here, let me get to the front.
I think everything that you said could go wrong.
Except we didn't pin. Averted disaster.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, that could have been terrible. Ben, as you saw there, got caught on a rock right here behind me. As he entered the chute, he got pushed over. And that could have gone really wrong. But we avoided pinning. We were able to get the boat out. And yeah, I think I'm gonna just lift over this now. What happens, you have to thread the needle and you miss. This has to be one of the most spectacular spots. What a wild, rugged waterfall. Oh my goodness. And it's probably going to be the craziest portage I've ever done. We're going to take a few trips to get our gear down this one. Yeah, I was thinking right down here.
Yeah.
I think we both agreed that that was the most difficult portage either of us has ever had to do. Not in terms of length, but just, you know, absolutely no trail, no indication of any trail. But what a beautiful spot. Oh man, just spectacular. And the fact that, you know, you can probably count on one hand in the last few years the number of people that have seen that place. Pretty special. Something we can run up here. This first part looks okay, but we can't see around the corner. Whoa! Oh. It's like another big drop. Kind of how the day's going. The last few hours anyway. One drop after another, after another, after another. What do you think?
1 of 20.
Decided we better do a proper portage over this one. This is very long. Kind of just keeps going down and down and down. But we're making progress. Not as quickly as we would have thought, but with all these waterfalls, not much else you can do. Another big drop coming up here. Oh, Jimmy Kash, old waterfall Jimmy. Okay, this falls is even bigger, steeper, and maybe even more spectacular than the last one. I don't know how we're gonna get around this. We're gonna have to be very careful here because it's a long way down. Just gonna have to pick our way down nice and slow, I guess. I've never seen a place like so untouched before. This river is spectacular. Okay, so I said the last waterfall is the hardest portage. No. What do you think?
My heart's still pounding.
Unreal.
Really pretty from down here.
Oh man.
In one piece.
Spectacular spot. Both of us are really feeling the effects of this day. Oh man, just wiped. Oh, starting to do silly things, not thinking very well. I'm gonna find somewhere to camp. Didn't get as far as we thought we would at all. But can't rush the river. It is what it is. Well, we've decided to stop here. We found kind of a clearing. Looks like somebody else might have been here at some time. There's a few limbs knocked off the trees and whatever, but it's the only flat spot or flattish that we found all day. And we're both getting to the point now where we're stumbling and we're getting tired, and that's when mistakes happen. So we figured we'd be better off to stop and set up camp when the spot allowed. It's pretty slow today with those waterfalls, but it's also unreal. I've never experienced anything like that. It really kind of hasn't sunk in yet. Such a cool place though. Company leaves a little bit to be desired, but hey, what can you do? I just want some hot food.
Yeah. Me too. I'm gonna get moving here in a second.
Oh man, that smells amazing.
Is that just like a classic chili?
I think this is Denison.
Oh, really?
My dad gave me some last year.
Nice.
Oh, that is spicy.
Is it?
Yeah, I hit that pretty heavy with hot sauce and chili peppers and stuff.
Oh, that smells so good.
Big pot of chili on a cold day. And I think I've got to have a second helping. Round 2 on the chili. Put a little bit too much water in this time. Wow. So good to have some warm food inside. I didn't realize how late it was when we got here. It was about 5:30. It took way longer to get around all those waterfalls than we were anticipating it would. Now we're just trying to dry out, get some warm food. Probably going to be an early night. So the whole way down the river, we have tried casting at any likely hole we thought might, hold a fish. And we haven't seen a single fish since we left Jimmy Kash Lake yesterday morning. Even though we fished at the bottom of lots of rapids, any deep hole, the bottom of all the falls, thinking that's where the fish might be holding this time of year. And haven't had a single hit since leaving Jimmy Kash Lake. But then we're sitting here chatting tonight, and right here beside our fire pit is fish scales that are probably maybe walleye or pike. Who knows whether it was a person that traveled this river at some point that cleaned a fish here, or an animal or a bird that killed a fish and ate it here. But there's evidence of fish. And we know they're not swimming up the 50-foot waterfall that we just came down. If you know Ben, you know that he is a fanatical fisherman, loves to fish. So he's gone out on the water to try and find some dinner. He's very optimistic right now. And I gotta say, I'm not. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if he hooked into something, but I wouldn't also be surprised if he came back with nothing. freeze-dried Honeycrisp apples.
Oh,
And I covered them in brown sugar and cinnamon. So I sliced them, laid them on the tray, and then sprinkled brown sugar and cinnamon all over them. And then when they came out, I just smashed them all into pieces. It's like little chunks of apple. So good.
I can imagine.
It's not a Mars bar, but
Nah. Pretty close to it. It's more wholesome.
I think I was dreaming about chocolate bars last night. Shaping up to look like a very beautiful day out here. Just getting out on the water. Took our time with breakfast and getting camp packed up. We're both feeling the effects a little bit from yesterday's slog down those falls. I can honestly say I've never seen or done anything like that before. That was a pretty incredible spot, both of those waterfalls. Well, so far it's been a beautiful but kind of frustrating morning. Just trying to get cameras working. We have 3 GoPros between the two of us, and mine will turn on for 15 to 20 seconds and shut off. It doesn't make any sense. Ben's camera won't even turn on at all. And so we've done, I don't know how many, 4 waterfalls, big rapids or waterfalls already today. And we can barely document any of it. You can see behind me how beautiful this is, but I'm resorting to having to record on my phone here, which is pretty frustrating. Okay, that one's working fine. Helmet cam appears to be working, and the boat cam seems to be working. Is yours coming on?
Yep, I'm at 30 seconds recording.
Now maybe the camera's been sitting. Now
Mine's done.
I don't know if it's because the camera itself is cold and now it's been sitting in the sun for an hour, but we're gonna find out. Gotta wrap it. The river seems to be getting shallower as we get down it. Yeah. Or the rocks are getting bigger. There's a rock there. It's huge. Yeah, it's sticking right out of the water. You're right on top of it. That's the closest thing to a campsite I've seen. rocky and shallow at the bottom. More of that, eh? After a couple days of not being able to run anything, feels nice to drop through a few rapids. But we were just talking on the river back there about kind of the price you have to pay to get here. Both of us right now are more than happy for what we've done. It's been a pretty amazing place to see. Man, there's tons of birds right here. Like all starlings or sparrows or something squawking. Where's my hat? Little rapids really brings the mood up between the both of us.
A bit bigger up ahead.
Sounds a bit bigger. There's two big drops. Second one looks pretty huge. I'm gonna try and ferry across here without dying.
There's no 50-foot drop where you have to line down, but it's tough.
believe how many massive waterfalls we've encountered so far. We know there's at least one more once we hit the Dog. It's probably bigger in height than all of these we've seen, but it's just insane. We got to get our gear over that hill and down here. The ferry across there was a little bit risky. Gear for constipation, I'll tell you that. So much weight in the back. Rocks like knife edges here. Oh man. That was a portage and a half. Thankfully it was short. Oh man, so hot now. Now we gotta squeak down through that. Looks pretty skinny, but I think we'll be all right. Is that the third, fourth epic waterfall we've seen?
Yeah, at least the third.
If you count some of the stuff we saw earlier today, like that was pretty close to one. That one that we lined around there, that was pretty close to a waterfall.
Yeah. That would have been like a waterfall in any other river.
Yeah.
Like named and all.
Here it's just a line on the map.
Yep.
Oh, this is beautiful. Wow. So we made it less than a kilometer from the last epic waterfall, and we find another epic waterfall. Incredibly beautiful, very difficult to get around because we have this thick bush. kind of makes a gentle S, and it looks fine, and there's a big eddy down there, so around the next corner we can eddy out.
Is that on the river left?
Yeah, go down left around those rocks. It looks all right from here. Even paddle down this section of the river in a couple of weeks. This is a spring flows only. What do you think?
Looks runnable, but I just can't tell what's in.
Yeah, it looks fine. Alright. I think we'll just take your time and pick your way back and forth.
Yeah.
Try not to let the wind blow you back upstream.
Yeah, I'm going up. Yeah, you want that, I'll kind of off you.
Yo, what?
I'm doing gauge off of one.
Yeah, if I die, go a different way.
Yep.
That's the Dog River, buddy! We made it! Made it to the Dog. It's a good Lake Superior wind blowing. We're only maybe 3-4 kilometers from Superior. Oh, this is the Dog River. Wow, it's quite a bit bigger. That's a good feeling. I think that deserves a Jolly Rancher. Let's see. Ooh, green. Green apple. You want a JR?
What's that?
You want a JR?
Yes! Dog water. I should get up.
All right, we're in dog water now.
This is the most beautiful place I've ever been. In Ontario, I think.
Yeah. It's gotta be. Does it kind of look like a trail going up there?
Could be, yeah.
Maybe a beaver trail?
I'll take it. Listen to that.
Just look down the gorge. Well, I've said it several times on this trip already that that was the most grueling portage I've ever done. But that Dog River, Dennison Falls was something else. That took about 4 hours to do that portage. But there's an eagle. And behind that big sand dune right there is Lake Superior. So we are going to camp somewhere around here tonight. Got beef stew tonight. Can't even think straight right now. Turn this into a pot of tea. Potatoes, carrots, parsnips, roast beef. Did it in a crock pot and then ran it through the freeze dryer. That was a delicious dinner. It's nice to have a little food. I feel like I could fall asleep sitting here. Put in some work in the last few days, even though we haven't gone that far. I really hope that Lake Superior is like this tomorrow. We have a long way to go still. Being kind of cautious today because, as you can see, I don't have a dry suit to wear. I have my dry pants on, which are keeping my legs and feet dry, but that's not going to do much for me should I end up in the water. So I have to be cautious out here on the lake. This water is just deadly cold. Stopped at the mouth of this small river to try a few casts, and no luck. And the sun's gone behind the clouds. It's getting a little breezier, so we should probably keep moving. But I've had to put on my raincoat. I don't realize how much warmer you are in that dry suit. Definitely getting a little choppier now. But still relatively calm for Lake Superior. decided to stop for the day. Again, both of us are pretty tired today, but it's probably good we did, because we got getting camp set up and everything, and the wind is it was coming south and now it's switched to the west, which is more prevailing, and the sky is pretty dark over there right now. We're probably in for some rain. Temperature changes about 10 degrees between when the sun's out and when it goes behind the clouds. Let me try and make something to eat before we get hit with the storm, if we're going to. So tonight's meal is a little different. This is something that Tyler, Scott, and I came up with. So this is, I've got little styrofoam-like potatoes. These are partially cooked potatoes, a partially cooked pieces of sirloin steak that just crumble apart. So this was cooked to a very rare finish. And now I have raw peppers and I think 4 kinds of raw mushrooms. And so the plan for this meal is to reconstitute it in the pot in hot water, which is going to partially cook it. And then we're going to throw it in the frying pan with some butter and finish cooking it off. So a little hot water on top.
I can take care of this for you if you want.
Yeah. Put your hand a little closer. I don't know how much water I'm going to need in this because I've never done this one before. But you can already see it's like the potatoes are already softening, the steak's already starting to get soft. But it's legit, like that's a piece of sirloin steak right there. You can even see there's a little edge of fat on it. So just a bit of hot water is all that needs. I don't need to cover it, but get that all down in the water, and we're going to let that sit for a few minutes. Put the lid on it. So that'll sit in the cozy for a few minutes, and then it'll be into the frying pan. Yeah, so the potatoes have gotten a little mushed. I've been out here 6 days, and we're about to have steak. So this turned out amazing. That's a decent steak, and we're 7 days into this trip now. What a cool way to do that. Okay, that was delicious. The only thing I would change next time is rehydrate those items separately. So the vegetables by themselves and the steak separate, because the steak needed some more time and crisped up, and I would take the fat off the steak. It didn't reconstitute very well. Other than that, that was an amazing meal. Mushrooms, 4 kinds of mushrooms, peppers, onion, steak, potato. That is a very delicious, hearty dinner. So thanks, Tyler, for that, for all your help. Go check out Camp Kitchen on YouTube. Getting things packed up this morning, bright and early. It's just after 6. Pretty calm this morning. The waves dropped a bit in the night, and I want to make the most of it, so I get up, get things packed. I really don't want to get stuck here or anywhere on this lake when the wind comes up. Just moved over.
No. Yes.
Rainbow?
The Laker.
Almost back to our beach. You can see our takeout point ahead. So just slowly trolling along. I hooked into a fish and I got it right beside the boat and lost it. This is the calmest the lake's been all morning. But we've had a great time. We'll wrap this up here. Thanks for coming along, folks. See you on the next one.